Good evening. My name is Kathy Stanley Galvin, Mayor of the Town of Stoneville. Thank you for joining us this evening. At this time, please silence your phone or cut off your cell phone. As Mayor, I call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 4th. Let us stand for the pledge. Following the pledge, Mayor Pro Tem will lead us in prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Lord, as our town council gathers, we seek your divine guidance and wisdom. May the opening prayer set the tone and procedure of a harmonious discussion. Let your presence inspire our leaders to make decisions that benefit our community and promote unity. This we pray as one voice. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening? I have a motion from Councilman Thornton. A second?
Second.
Councilwoman Daisy Smith, all in favor? Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes? And the minutes will be from our last meeting, which was on June the 2nd. I have a motion from Councilman Thornton. Second?
Second.
Smith, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Councilwoman Jessica Smith will not be joining us this evening. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Ms. Chief Dixon.
All right, so this is Officer Burnett. This is our new Class A uniform. I wanted everybody to see. Okay. He's doesn't know what he's getting. So. Okay, so this is an honor for me. Okay. So on Memorial Day 2026 was one to remember for Officer Gary Burnett. On Monday, May 25th, Officer Burnett worked from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for Stoneville PD. Just minutes past 5 p.m., EMS and fire were dispatched to Price Range Road for a young boy involved in an ATV accident. Officer Burnett heard the call dispatched and immediately radioed that he could be en route to assist. Within 2 minutes of the dispatch, Officer Burnett was the first on scene. He went approximately a quarter of a mile into the woods to find the young boy. He performed life-saving actions in line with his years as a fire captain and a police officer. Officer Burnett stayed with the boy, stabilizing him until fire and EMS could arrive. Even after their arrival, he stayed to assist. Once a backboard arrived, the young boy was secured to the board, and Officer Burnett was one of the personnel to help bring him out of the woods. I would like to present him with a life-saving award. I only got $50, so I know that I'm in class. Trying to get one there.
I do. I have one here. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
It's coming in late. So at this time, I'm going to embarrass a really good. We have another Good Samaritan Award that I want to give tonight. And a few weeks ago, we were at a meeting and we had a citizen in town have a medical emergency. And a lot of y'all here tonight was there. And we have a citizen that went over and beyond to do what she needed to do. So Laura, if you can come up, just in look, I got you as soon as you walk up the line. So I'm gonna read this for you. In grateful recognition in your exceptional compassion, courage, and selfless actions, and coming to the aid of a fellow citizen during a sudden medical emergency on June 16th of this year. Your willingness to respond without hesitation demonstrated the true spirit of a good Samaritan. Through your actions, you have set an inspiring example of citizenship for all our residents of the town of Stoneville. And I'm giving you this on August the 4th of this year. I just want to have the town of Stoneville.
Thank you so much.
If you were there that day, she did not miss a beat. Within 10 seconds you were there. So thank you.
I did that. That's love. That's just, I love my neighbors.
Well, we appreciate you very much. Now we're going to start with the old business, and we're going to start with the presentation of the Rockingham County Comprehensive Transportation Plan with the Town of Stoneville revisions. And this will be presented by Emily Stupka with the North Carolina DOT Transportation Engineer. And then after old business, we'll go right to item 2 there, and that's the consideration to adopt this. So we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Sorry, give me one moment to pull this up. Sorry about that. Thank you guys for having us again today. I really appreciate your time. It's good to be back in Stoneville. My name is Emily Stupka. I'm with the NCDOT Transportation Planning Division, and I am the project engineer for the Rockingham County Comprehensive Transportation Plan, or CTP. So I'm going to go through a little bit of an abbreviated version of what we did last time, because some of this is going to be repetitive, and then I'm going to be talking about the new recommendations we have for Stoneville. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's popping up on the big screen. Should I continue? Okay, I'm sorry about that.
You guys have this in your packets.
Okay, yep. So just as a refresher of what a comprehensive transportation plan is, or a CTP, these are long-range multimodal transportation plans that are needs-based. They're meant to create a community consensus of what the future transportation should look like in the next 25 to 30 years. So we're looking way out into the future to see what's needed. And this is done in joint between the DOT, us at TPD, but also your division staff, your RPO, which is the Piedmont Triad RPO, and then local stakeholders, the municipality, and the county. And as I said, this is multimodal, so not just roads, but also bicycle, pedestrian, public transit, rail, and even airports and ferries, depending on where we are. And the reason we do this, because it's really important to identify what's needed in these communities. Recommendations that are put in a CTP can then be submitted for funding. So having it in a CTP is good, because then it can compete for funding in the future. It also aligns with some of our policies, like our Complete Streets policy, helps get some of those bike and ped elements, give those opportunities. And like I said, it informs prioritization, which then leads to project development and design down the road. So this is the very first step in the project delivery process. So this is the very beginning. This is kind of the birth of a project. And we began this in winter 2023, and we're hoping to close out this fall. So this summer, we're going through the adoption step. So this is our last municipalities seeking adoption, and then we're going in 2 weeks to seek adoption through the county. And then we're going to seek endorsement by the RPO, and then it'll go through the Board of Transportation at the NCDOT. So I'm sorry you guys can't see these maps. So originally we had a highway recommendation on Church Street, Stone Mountain Road. So this was a modernization that we were recommending, which would be to widen it to 11-foot lanes with paved shoulders. And this would be from 770 to NC 135. And the reason we were recommending this was connectivity, reliability, safety. And originally when we did public engagement, which was 4 public engagement meetings in person, we had one at the Eden Library, the Madison Maiden Rec Center, the Reedsville Public Library, the Reedsville YMCA, and as well as an online survey. We only had one response about this recommendation, and it was someone who disagreed with it. And then when we came back in Stoneville on June 16th to do an additional public engagement meeting, we had a few comments. We had about 19 participants from what I counted. There may have been more, but I don't know if I documented those. It was a lot going on in that meeting. But some of the things we heard about this recommendation is that we do not want a turn lane or street widening on Church Street. Someone said get rid of the highway recommendation, the bike lanes on Church Street. Someone said there are speeding issues along this road, there's school traffic, and someone said that the intersection of 135 and Stone Mountain Road is dangerous. So in conclusion, based on those comments, we have removed that Church Street / Stone Mountain modernization project. So therefore, there are no highway projects that we're recommending in the CTP for Stoneville. For public transit and rail, we had one recommendation, which would be to expand the SCAT route. So we heard from previous and published engagement that there's a desire for increased connectivity between the towns. So offering a connection between Madison and Wentworth, and Maiden and Eden, and Wentworth and Eden, so people can get around better. During our original public engagement sessions, we heard positive feedback about this. A lot of comments were concerns about getting to medical care in Greensboro, so that could be a good opportunity to expand that. Just general support of SCAT. People wanted more transit near grocery stores, more transit to Greensboro. We had one negative comment that they didn't want buses in the county, but overall it was positive. Based on the new results we have from the additional Stoneville meeting, someone said there were several comments in support of SCAT expansion, and there was one comment where an attendee did not support SCAT. So in conclusion, there are no changes. We are going to keep that recommendation to expand SCAT across the towns. And then for bike and ped recommendations, we had a few of them. The original comments we got were decently positive. We only had 4 responses on our survey. Someone said that the Stoneville Memorial Park is very important for teenagers and children, and someone said yes to the bike lanes in Stoneville. But based on the new comments we got from the Stoneville meeting, people said, I really like the idea of a sidewalk on 770. Someone said, I support the bike lanes on 770 towards the park if it's done safely. Someone said recommendations for sidewalks are good. Someone said add a sidewalk on Main Street to Pretty Road to access the park. Someone said get rid of the bike lane on Church Street, which is a common comment we got. Someone said we support the bike lane recommendations except for Church Street. And then there was some support for the multi-use paths that lead to Madison and Maiden. And then someone commented that Henry doesn't have the right-of-way for bike and ped improvements, which was one we did have before. So in conclusion, based on those comments, we removed the Church Street bike lane. So there are no recommendations on Church Street or Stone Mountain Road. We removed the bike and ped improvements on Henry due to the right-of-way issues that we found out because of that public engagement meeting. Just with the railroad, there's not enough space to add anything there. And then based on the feedback, we added some bike and ped improvements on West Main Street and Pretty Road to connect to Stoneville Memorial Park. Again, I'm sorry you can't see that, but in the packet, you'll see the now updated maps for all 3 modes, which is what we are going to be asking you to adopt today. So I guess I'll open up to any questions you guys might have on the new changes.
Well, you made a comment about there's no recommendations on Stone Mountain Road, and I had suggested for the DOT to look at the intersection of 135 and Stone Mountain.
Yes, we did add that.
So that's on the agenda.
Yes, that's a recommendation we now have. It's not mentioned here today because technically it's not in Stoneville, but yes, we did look at the safety information about that intersection and felt like it was needed. So that would be a recommendation in the CTP.
Yeah, because there has been some deaths in that intersection.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? No? I think we had a good turnout that day.
We
so
did, yeah. I appreciate everyone here
Yeah.
coming out to give us their opinions.
We appreciate y'all listening to the citizens.
Is this like strictly for bike lanes and stuff, not roads?
It is all modes, so it's not just bike
Well, I
lanes, but
think the most important thing is how terrible the roads are. So I think we need to quit worrying about the bike lanes and that stuff, because there's a whole lot more cars going down the road and bicycles. Anybody agree with that? Because I couldn't tell you the last time I've seen anything get paved in this town. Like, seen anything?
would that be more of
Yeah,
a,
which street?
This would be more of a division level question.
yeah, this would be more,
Yeah,
it sounds
that's
like more of
what I'm
a, yeah, yeah.
This is more of a, we're long range planning, so we're trying to plan for all those, including federal highways. And this would be more of a division question about what's the pavement schedule for these roads and so forth. So,
Well, the lady that lives beside me is 100. Her daughter has never seen my street get paved. She's 70.
and
So when
sometimes,
it just,
sometimes it's a state maintained road, and sometimes it's.
definitely in town.
Do you know what
Bryant
road it
Street.
is, so we can get that back to the division?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what road that would be?
Bryant Street.
Don, can you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's basically gravel.
We will route that to.
Thank you.
So it sounds like it's more of a maintenance concern, because based on the feedback we got, it doesn't seem, that there's like widenings needed, which is kind of more of what we're thinking.
Just paving.
Yeah, okay, we will note that.
Yeah, thank you.
So next we'll go to item 2, and that will be to go ahead and vote on this tonight. For the consideration to adopt resolution R-2026-06, adopting the Rockingham County Comprehensive Transportation Plan for the town of Stoneville with revisions. We have a motion.
Make the motion that we adopt that plan.
So we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Thornton, a second.
Second.
Councilman Shelton, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Next, we have public hearings. We do have 3 different public hearings, so we're gonna have to go in and out of each one of those. So, when we'll start with the public hearings for the consideration of the, demolition for ordinance 0-2026-06. And this is, a residential structure located at 300 South Glen Street. And we'll go ahead and start with that. Mr. Russell, do I need to do the public comments first, or let Kelly, after they speak? Yes. You can go. Yes, oh, yes, I'm sorry. Do we have a motion to go into public hearing? I have a motion from Shelton, a second from Thornton, all in favor? Thank you, we're now in public hearing. Sorry about that. Now you go ahead, sorry.
I'm Kelly Howell. I'm with State Code Enforcement. I think you've all met our new code enforcement officer, Matt O'Howell. And so we're here. We have 3 ordinances and an update for you. The first one is for 300 South Glen Street. Mr. Wicker has proceeded with the majority of the updates for the property. It is no longer 51% deteriorated. And what we suggest is that we write a letter and detail the 2 remaining violations that he needs to repair and go from there. So not necessarily you can pass the ordinance, but right now that it really doesn't qualify. He has repaired the porch. He's done repairs to the roof, to the windows, and he has been responsive to our letters. He has signed the green cards, and so we feel that he has been very cooperative in this case. So, also, I wanted to address something from the last meeting. I think some people had some questions about the demolition ordinance and what comes after. You don't have, if you pass the ordinance, you don't have to immediately, the town does not have to immediately tear down the structure. Often what happens is you require the owners to present plans for the repairs and the rehab of the building, and you can monitor the progress and have them come give you updates. And as long as they're making progress, we're moving forward, and that's what we all want for those buildings. So, but right now, that's what I have for 300 South Glen Street.
Very good. So we can do public comments for the public. So we have,
Yes.
the next will be, Hugh, yours.
Hugh Belton, 103 Randolph Street. I'm right across the street from the 300 South Glen. You're right, he put a new porch on. The columns have got holes in them, they're rotten, of course. But, this ordinance have changed. If you've got vehicles that are unlicensed, they're considered abandoned, and they're supposed to be towed, and he has 2 sitting now. The red car's been there, I know, 10 years. The black car has been there 3. Neither one of them has license on them. The day after the meeting in May, when you had the board meeting in May, the next day he started working on the porch. Took him 3 days. He had 3 guys that worked 3 days, put the new porch on, new floor. Then he came in 4th day and mowed the grass, and that's the last time the grass was mowed, which was back in May. The grass hasn't been mowed since then. You see raccoons, you see skunks. I've seen both, of course, groundhogs, 3 or 4 groundhogs running around over there. I don't know what you can do. The man, nobody showed up since then. What can you do? If you look in the front door, it's just plumb full of stuff. It's just terrible. It's terrible.
Fire hazard.
It's a fire hazard, y'all. Absolutely a fire hazard. I don't know what else to say. It's just, what can you say about a place full of junk other than clean it up? Thank you. Okay, keep that door closed.
Yes. Do you want to come in and sit in? And he's
No,
asking.
Or
Or
we'll
you-
close the door.
The lady told me to stand here with her.
No, they want it
Okay.
closed.
Yeah, he said, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Any other comments? Do you want to go by Ms. Howell's recommendation?
We're gonna be sending a second notice from correct, and I was including that in thing about the fire hazard with the second letter. But other than that, he has been, the information that I'm doing is dead. Include the software, I would do a reminder to,
What about the vehicles?
for the vehicle, we need to put that in there too. Because he was right about the Camaro, it's been sitting there forever. And the Honda, it's been sitting there 3 years, I know, except the time when they did come up in front of you, after they got it jumped off. It hadn't moved,
Is that a motion?
that's enough.
So we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second, Councilman Smith, all in favor? Do you
Explain
have
to
any
me,
further discussion?
yeah, tell me exactly what we're voting on.
On Mr. Worker's home, there's still some violations Kelly mentioned he needs to take care of. You also mentioned the possibility of a fire hazard, so we need to incorporate that into the letter that we send to him, along with the big junk vehicles.
So this is just an update of improvements that need to be done.
Improvement plus what needs to do.
Do you give him a time frame?
I'll give him 30 days.
So we have a motion on the floor. We have a second on the floor. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have a motion to go out of public hearing?
So,
Have a motion from Thornton, second.
Second.
Shelton, all in favor? Okay. Now we're going to go back into public hearing. This time public hearing will be for the consideration of the demolition of ordinance 0-2026. Do we have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
second.
I have a motion from Smith, a second from Thornton, all in favor? We're now in public hearing. And this will be at the 108 North Henry Street.
Yes. So, we do request that you approve the demolition ordinance for 108 North Henry Street. There has been no improvements in the time that we have had this case open since November. It's been open since November of 2025. It's a commercial building in need of repair. It's vacant. The front is found to have rotten areas and boarded up. The windows on the back side are broken or missing. There's a chunk of brick missing from the wall. And like I said, it has not been, anything has been done since.
Has the owner reached out? I mean, has he been able to?
He has been, he did not come to the hearing. He has had a notice of violation, and that was mailed first class and certified. The hearing was held on March the 19th. He was not in attendance. The finding of facts and order letter was then prepared on March the 19th, and that compliance date was June 17th, 2026.
This is the building we refer to as the pink building.
No, ma'am. It's the one on the old drugstore is the best way to put it, and no doctor's office.
Yeah.
When you sent him a certified letter, did he sign for it?
Yeah.
So he's had zero communication.
Mm-hmm. And it goes to we've sent it to an Eden address and also to to the 637 Washington Street address, and there's also another address that we sent it to, which was in Greensboro at his attorney's address.
Has he paid taxes on the building?
My understanding is he has not paid the taxes for 2025, but that's as far as he's outstanding.
I guess the next step would be to contact the tax department and see if he's failed to pay the taxes on any other years, and if he has, then they may want to foreclose on that building instead of demoing it.
My understanding is they're up to date up to 2025. Yes, I
So
thought of
we're
that
not talking
too.
about property tax. Yeah.
So,
Any other comments?
Was anyone signed up to speak?
No, no, sir.
Close the public hearing.
Okay.
So, well, what's the course of action? Is she recommending something, or we need to hear? from
that
both?
you pass the demolition ordinance.
That doesn't mean we're gonna tear it down.
Yeah.
No, and the demolition ordinance doesn't expire. So, it just gives you more and other options. You can do fines. There's civil action you can take. So I realize that there's some buildings that we have violations on that would not lend themselves to a demolition. And so you have other options. I just wanted to throw that out there because it does sound very ominous. Yes.
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 And what other options in addition to what you just said? Anything
So
else?
if you pass the demolition ordinance and it doesn't expire. So basically what I've seen in the past in other cities is they will require the owner to give them an update, give them a plan of what they plan to do with the building, and then give them a timeline of what they want completed by such and such, and then come back to the city council and give updates. And so that way, something's moving forward. And if not, then you can take the other action, which my understanding is you can do fines up to $300 a day for 30 days. And then you turn it over to legal. It can go before a judge and he can order the repairs. If they do not comply with the judge's orders, then they're in contempt. And the judge decides what happens next.
But what if there's no, if he's not communicating or doing anything now, so what if he has no response or does anything, then what, and
Then you
what,
do the fines. They can be a lien against the property. Um, and that's usually what happens is the fines become it's turned over to legal. They put the liens against the property, and then the city can decide if they want to demo it.
so how long, how many times or how long a period can you do the fines? And who chooses, how much would the fines be? How
So
is
it's in your ordinance.
how much it can be
Yes.
charged?
Mhm.
So how long a time?
It's the ordinance says 30 days.
Okay,
So, and during that time, if he makes some progress, or, I mean, that's up to you if you continue that. So,
gotcha.
I would guess there's some possibility that if you send a copy of the adopted demolition ordinance, that might help
That
you
will be
realize
yeah.
more realistic.
Right, that will be sent certified and regular mail. It will also be posted on the property, and that is legal service.
So is that apparently in the codes, through the state or whatever, that, demolition is a proper word for that? Is there another word that can be used?
Demolition or repair, is that
Well,
what you?
uh, final notice or whatever, how,
Oh, you don't want it to be called a demolition ordinance?
well,
Or, is that what you're saying?
it sounds pretty final to me.
It
Sounds
does
like you're gonna tear something down.
Well, part of that is a lot of this is encouragement. Nobody wants to tear down these buildings. We want them repaired. We want Stoneville's downtown to be someplace people want to come for, various things. So it's encouragement, really. And I understand it does sound like you're going to run out
Sounds
and
like
do
a
the
threat.
bulldozer, but that's why I'm explaining it to you. That's not necessarily what happens. Sometimes it is. It can be. You have that option. You have that choice.
I think that would be the last option.
Right. I think that is for everybody. But sometimes it's an estate. Sometimes you can't locate the heirs, so you're not going to go forward. There's no going forward unless you do a demolition. So I understand. It sounds ominous, but that's why I'm trying to clarify it for you.
Yeah, it just sounds threatening to me.
Yes, and maybe it is because sometimes I see people who buy properties and they're in the business of real estate. They're not in the business of rehab. But Stoneville needs rehab. We want to beautify downtown, and so there's other things you can do to encourage that. But that's another time. But hopefully this will encourage people because I think the people bought it with rehab in mind. There just had some obstacles, and this way you make it where it's easier to go forward with your rehab process than it is to not.
You've been doing this a pretty good while, I think, and so what do other municipalities or towns do they do to help these people in these?
So I have seen grants. I've seen grants just to paint. They'll buy the paint if somebody wants to paint their front. There have been block grants they usually came from the state for beautification. So that's pretty much what I've seen. So you do have a list pendants on each of these properties. So the violation does follow the property. So even if it gets sold or transferred, the violation is still there. So you kind of covered yourself on that. So that's a good thing. So,
Any other questions? So what we'll do is we'll make a motion to come out of public hearing and then we'll have a vote. So do we have a motion to come out of public hearing? We have a motion from Thornton, a second.
Second.
Smith, all in favor? So we're now out of public hearing, and then we can have a motion to proceed with with Ms. Howell's recommendation.
I make a motion on ordinance 0-2026-10 that we proceed with, Kelly has presented to us, by sending a letter to him, to give him, 30 days to respond.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Thornton, a second from Councilwoman Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we're gonna go back in the last public hearing and this is for the demolition of ordinance 0-2026. And this is for the, 116 North Henry Street. And, if you'd like to step up. Amen. Golly, I'm sorry, y'all. Do we have a motion to go into public hearing for this? So we have a motion from Thornton, a second.
Second.
Shelton, all in favor? Now we're in public hearing. Thank you. Ms. Howell, if you'd like to step up.
so we have an ordinance, to, demolish or repair, 116 North Henry Street. It was tagged a commercial building need repair. They found deteriorating bricks on the right side. The windows are boarded up. The window frames are rotten. There's flaking paint on the front. The door frame shows rot. And the front windows are boarded up. We did have the hearing on March the 19th. And there was one party in attendance. The finding of facts and order letter was prepared, and the list pendants and the compliance date was June 17th, 2026. We find that it's still in violation. And we request that you pass the ordinance.
And we do have one person signed
Yeah.
up to speak. Tripp, would you like to speak? If you don't mind, if you can stand up and state your name and address, please.
My name's Curtis Bennett. My address, 1307 Paw Road, Stoneville. I'm here to answer any questions, that may be pertaining to 116. I did notice you said that the violations were not cleared up. Okay. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, pretty much what was originally found is still in violation. Have you made any repairs that, I'm not the original code enforcement officer?
Eric was.
Yeah, so have you made any repairs that I'm not aware of?
All the repairs. Yes,
And
I'm
all
aware of it.
repairs?
Yes.
But it's still uninhabitable.
Well, that's. Can you describe the building that you're referring to?
It's the building next to the aqua park.
You sure? I'm asking because those buildings do not have board windows. I believe when talking to Eric, the building that he was talking about was the standalone building behind the 16.
Yes, you're right. You're right about that.
That building is not on the
That-
property deed, it's not on
You're
the
correct.
tax deed either. For all records are concerned, that building doesn't exist. It's just a standalone building. There's no address for it. There's no way to deed it over to another party. It's just, just slipped through the cracks 20, 30 years ago. What happened?
Yes, I've had that discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
what
so
you-
the building in question, 116, there's no violations on that. Other than
Well,
flaking
there's
paint,
still-
flaking paint on the front.
Yes, and they're still running around the doorway. And the door is secured with a,
Hell,
yes, but it's not very well secured. I mean, the frame around it
The roadfront store?
So. Do you have plans to,
Yeah, I have plans for it, yes, absolutely.
and so, you have,
Well, for the past 3 years, when my interest had changed, I've been talking to different parties and other people about selling the buildings, possibly fixing them up. By no means is that building should ever qualify for demolition.
well, I think more, everyone would like to see it repaired, rather
I agree, I agree, that's why.
and if they pass this demolition ordinance, then basically that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna require your plan and timeline and monitor your.
So the building that is in question, and we don't want that you guys listen to code violations, is the building behind the road front building.
No, we're talking about, no, we're building that street.
Okay, with the
I
only,
understand what you're saying, I understand, and you're right.
so what's the code violation on that? Vacant paint is the only code violation that was brought up.
And there's some rotting floors. And what about the interior? My understanding is, I'm not.
That must be the
not
same.
done the interior.
Yeah.
This is not an inspection.
Exactly, that's not.
So, but the interior would need to be repaired for it to come up.
We don't know that. That's not part of this. In all due respect, I mean, this,
Well, it's up to the city if they want to pass the ordinance.
so if they pass an ordinance to demolish, go away with demolition for the code of 116, that's not an accurate description of which building is under code violation.
Well, it's really great that.
And the building that I am talking about, the one that stands on the line behind it, those doors have been repaired, the windows have been on the front side, have been replaced. There's one window up top, and I think one window on the bottom right, that still hasn't been replaced, but, you know, there's some vandalism that's gone on there. I'm here to take responsibility for the condition of my property, yes. I just want to make sure that this process includes that we're talking about the same and the right things.
I understand.
Okay, yeah, me too.
So,
So I don't know what we're voting.
well, it's an ordinance to prepare them like demo that building. Basically, they want
Building that doesn't exist on paper.
the 116.
It's not 116. I know that.
I saw that.
But when you're talking
But
about,
I was under the understanding that that discussion had already happened and had been cleared up, that we were proceeding with that address.
I was under President clear up too. Here we are. And we're talking about it, and you know, you weren't even aware of the repairs that were to the building. That's not 116. Which is the reason for the code violation to the county. Does that make sense?
Well, you're still in violation.
Flaking paint? Okay, I agree with that.
That's
I agree with that.
So, I don't know what, if they want to continue it.
I'm going to answer these questions the board may have.
It's still a violation.
Clarify.
Yeah, if they want to continue it and address it in 30 days, then that's permission.
Trip, I got a question. Excuse me for my voice. The air conditioner just loves me to death right here. Is there any way we can clear that up, the tax part, because they can assign a number to that plot of that building? They maybe call it 116, A1, that way they can identify that way? I'm just wondering if that's
Yeah,
a possibility.
Originally, when I moved back to town and I was interested in buying property, that was the only structure I was originally interested in purchasing. And that's when I found out it didn't
You got it just off the books.
right. And so it was in a way, I don't know, grandfather into right turn for it or what, but it was connected with the 116 bill.
It was probably grandfathered in that way.
And of course, the 116 building also shares a wall, it doesn't share a wall upstairs with the 118. So those two had to really come together. So it was actually a three-part deal. And that was kind of just there. There's been times where I've, inquired about doing that exact thing, like making it its own structure, because it was nearly impossible to get electricity to the building without an address.
Right.
So the electricity was actually, when I got there, it was kind of connected to the 116 and 118 buildings. Over top of that little roadway.
Yeah.
And, but you can't get plumbing, air conditioning, not air conditioning, electricity, any of the services that you would need for a regular standalone structure, you can't get because it doesn't have an address.
I was just wondering how much trouble it would be to get it an address for it.
And it would be a lot of, as far as the land that's with it. Also the easements that are going through there as well with the town and other structures, I guess the map of the land too is an issue with it. Like where's the boundary line for the property?
But the only way to really come that, of course, that's probably get it surveyed and cut it off from the original tract it sits on. Is it on the Lineberger building lot? That's what I'm thinking.
It is part of the property outline of the 116 line.
Okay.
Like the property line of it, if you stand on the alleyway wall,
Right.
it's basically the property line is like the width of your foot, and it runs right along that wall. Right, yes, sir.
And the tax card has, for 116 North Winter Street, it has Bennett Curtis Jones III as the owner. So that's where,
Is that what building number 2 is going to be? I mean, on down on tax card should be an assessor bill. You don't see it. You don't see it.
it says there's a common wall.
So you're looking at the original bill. So we may not have that second on tax.
You can jump in around it about reading that.
Well, I don't have to
To my knowledge, it's not there.
yeah.
The same structure is there, we come
Yeah,
pretty close back to code.
Right.
On that.
So what I'm thinking, Madam Mayor, is that we pigeonhole this until we get the number assigned to it from a tax card or from planning and design.
But I guess the question was with, you were actually like the building in the front, the one that goes right down Henry Street is the one that you were questioning anyway, not that building.
That's correct.
That's what she was talking about.
Front building.
Yes, meaning that, because you said it had it was paint, flaking.
Well, I know that you've had work done to that building, that put the windows over here.
Yes, sir. We removed the awning that went over the top of the sidewalk, that was connected to the top of it. We did that. We replaced all 6 windows in 116 and 118
So you haven't worked on it.
Absolutely.
Miss Howard, you thinking maybe because there's a board, not like at where the old hardware store used to be, but the one, if you're facing it right to the right of it, is there a board right there, Trip, that's on the front? Like right there, like if you were walking into the building, there's a old, okay. Is that maybe what you were?
Honestly, Kat, I can't remember.
Yeah.
If it was there during the Rotary Festival or
Yeah.
something, just to, protect somebody.
Yeah, to keep people safe from walking in there. I was just thinking if that's what she was thinking that, I agree. Yep. So that's not what you were talking about.
No,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
but I understand that you need to clarify the address. I did have that question, and when I came upon the tax card, I went with that.
Yes, ma'am.
But I understand that there was a discussion with the last code enforcement officer, and that's why he went forward with that address. But if we need to clarify that.
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely.
Mrs. Howell, when you were talking about, I think you said something about boarded up windows in the front. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, but that has
Been resolved?
either taken care of, it's not present.
It was never an issue. That was referring
That was
to.
the other.
Well, my point was, it's referring to the Pocket Park buildings that are attached to his building on 116 that the town of Stoneville is responsible for,
Yes, I'm aware of that.
and it's never been corrected.
Okay, they are discussing, a purpose for that.
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding.
It's been going on for about 8 years.
Okay.
In the original conversation with Eric on March 19th, those were some of his code violations did include those two structures attached to the property, which are not. So it's, again, I'm here to take responsibility and clean my mess up, for sure. I just want to get everybody on the same page, and so if it does sail down the road, whoever does take over from me and continues to work on the buildings and make them better, that they're not possibly hindered with this as well. My goal is to, and always has been, make Stone better when I got here and clean it up and use these buildings for businesses or whatever we need to use them.
So,
But it's important to know which structures we're actually referring to. So,
Agree.
I suggest we continue it and we make that clarification and
Yes,
work
ma'am.
with Mr. Bennett to, clear up the address.
and ideally, I don't see a difference in that standalone building being like a carport in somebody else's backyard. I personally, if you give this new address, then you're inviting another property tax along with it, and everything else that goes along with that as well.
Yeah, but that property tax won't be that bad, because, that building is over 100 years old.
It won't be that bad.
Made to mention. But, what I would suggest, Madam Mayor, is we just continue this for another 30 days and, give Kelly and Matt time to, give Todd the tax office and planning, see about signing the numbers for this.
Okay, so we'll make that motion when we come out of public hearing. So do we have a motion to come out of public hearing?
So,
We have a motion from Thornton, a second. Smith, all in favor? Opposed? Now we're out of public hearing.
I'll
Mr.
make
Thornton,
the motion, if you don't mind, Madam Mayor, on property 0-2026-11, that we continue that for a period of 30 days until we can get a number assigned to said building number 2, that's adjacent to Parcel 116 again, at North Henry.
okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Thornton, a second.
Second.
Councilman Smith, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Tripp. Next, we have public comments. We have no one signed up for public comments. So we'll start with new business tonight. And it's the second reading and final adoption of ordinance 0-202609, amending the flood damage prevention ordinance to specify criminal penalties pursuant to NCGS, and that's 160A-175.
Yes, Madam Mayor, because this is an ordinance that has some criminal penalties associated, it requires the second reading and a second vote for final approval. So that's the reason it is on the agenda for tonight.
So, I'm sorry.
It's on the agenda tonight because of the civil, the criminal penalties that can be issued from this. Because of that, it requires a legal second reading and a second vote before it can be finalized.
So do we have a motion?
I make the motion that we consider this and go ahead and do our second vote for this particular NCDOT 160A-175.
And that's
Motion to approve.
Right, so we have a motion from Councilman Thornton, a second from Councilman Smith. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the code enforcement update on the commercial property, and this is 105 North Henry Street.
Is this the thing to-
Well, yes. No,
No,
this is
it's,
not the
um,
pink building.
Okay.
But, this property is owned by, the Wickers. And the main complaint is concerning the downspout in the back. There has not been any update to the property. At this point, we're going to, well, we've done the hearing. We will probably draft an ordinance for our next meeting, our demolition meeting, ordinance for the next meeting. We will send another letter specifically addressing this. I do not, like I said, in the previous property, he had responded to us, but, this one has not been updated. And the violations are still present and they're numerous. So that's my update. If you have any questions about it, I'll be glad to answer it.
Are you planning on sending a second letter to him on this particular track?
I am, and one of the reasons why is because he was so cooperative in his other property.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we haven't had a issue with this, but we have held the hearing. It was held November the 13th, 2025. The compliance date was February the 6th, 2026. The council last time did vote to extend the compliance date. And, as I said, we'll reach out to him one more time and then we'll have your ordinance for next month.
Do you have a good phone number for him?
I had called the phone number
Okay,
and I don't get an answer.
I got you. Then I would send him another certified
That's
letter.
what I think is our next step.
Okay. Next is the consideration of the Rotary Fall Festival sponsorship.
Okay, there we go. So the Rotary Club puts on the Fall Festival, has done so for several years, and the town also has served as a sponsor for the festival in the form of a donation. So again, leadership there in the club approached us again about the possibility of including a donation on their behalf. So that is the recommendation that we include that amount. We included that amount as part of the initial budgeting process, so those funds are available for us to continue that donation.
Do we have a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we, extend the donation to the Rotary for the Fall Festival as done in previous,
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from,
in the amount of $500.
yes, ma'am, thank you. We have a motion on the floor from Councilman Smith. A second?
Second.
Shelton, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is a consideration of ordinance 0-2026-12, declaring a temporary road closure for the downtown trick or treat.
So this is again as a requirement for DOT to present an ordinance approved by the council for any road closures and the new guidelines that we have to follow in terms of the timeline. So as part of the October 30th downtown trick-or-treating opportunity for kids, this ordinance is put before you to declare that temporary road closure.
Mr. Sands, if we're doing that in October, what about the fall festival that's in September?
Sorry.
So-
That's annual and ongoing, a date, nothing had to be changed, so I have an existing.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. So do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the ordinance of 0-2026-12.
We have a motion on the floor from Councilman Shelton, a second.
Second.
Councilman Smith, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the consideration to approve up.
Yeah, I want to ask you something on this. So you said that it's automatically extended on the rotary. Due to the dialogue that we've had, just questions about this road closures and who can manage them and all that. Do we need to make sure that our people are managing those roads? Because the Rotary's been doing it in the past. The roadblocks.
Already have it in place.
You're asking for like people that's certified to install probably.
Yeah.
And we do, I mean, I think we need certified people or employees to install this. It's a requirement.
Well, it's mostly old people out there doing it at 6 o'clock in the morning. And
You're talking about for the Rotary Club,
yes,
but you're saying it's already in place. You've already got it
Police officer, yes.
set up to take
Yes.
care of that.
Yes.
okay,
So we're in a good place.
thank you.
Thank you. Next is a consideration to approve updates to the internal purchasing policy and the uniform guidance procurement policy to align with recent legislative updates.
So as you stated, these two updates are simply required by the state to be included anytime projects are bid out. So we simply have taken the language provided by the state and inserted them into our existing policies.
Okay. We need a motion.
I make the motion that we go ahead and update our policy based on what that the league has already given us.
So I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Thornton, a second.
Second.
Councilman Smith, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the consideration of budget amendments.
So, Ms. Greer will be presenting the budget amendments, but basically this is anytime you have funds that are not expended, that are grant related or whatever from a previous year, at the end of the fiscal year, they are then transferred to the general fund. In order for them to realign with the line items where they're specifically designated to, an amendment has to be done to the new budget after July 1. So this presentation is to move those line items. You see there on the budget amendment, all of the line items that will be moved, and Ms. Greer is here to answer any questions if you have them.
So they're moved to the general fund, not the fund balance.
No, what happens is at the end of the year, any of these funds that were not spent went into fund balance, but they were not spent, so now we're taking them back out of fund balance and putting it back in the expense line so that they can be used this year because they weren't expended last year.
Gotcha.
So we've got some Michael and a few other things that we didn't use.
I'll make a motion to approve this. Well, I need some numbers.
For the budget amendments?
Yeah, we need a motion on that?
Yes, sir. So we have a motion on the floor from Councilman Bennett, a second.
Second.
Second, Councilman Shelton. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the town administrator report.
At this time, there are no new items to report.
Okay, and so we have the announcements would be the senior bingo on August the 13th. And our next council meeting will be, believe it or not, it'll be September So our next meeting is on September the 1st, and we have closing remarks. So it was brought to my attention over the weekend, I received a message that somehow people think that we sit up here and I make 100,000 a year. I won't make 100,000 if I do it the rest of my life. Make it clarify, I make $175 a month. These guys make $150 a month. You can divide what I do, I'll probably make $5 an hour, maybe, on a good month. So just want to clarify that. If I made 100,000 a month or year, I'd be sitting here till I rotted, so, or till y'all voted me out. So I just want to clarify that. Do you have some?
I was like, I don't know if we can go back in time to what we were talking about earlier. I just wanted to clarify what exactly I do from here on out until the next 30 days.
Do you want to, she just left.
Okay.
Would you like to make an appointment with her and then you?
Absolutely, yes. And, you know, talking with the town too, with you guys before, I just want to be clear on.
I understand that.
What vote was, what.
Okay, so
But
do you want to?
Same thing in 30 days.
Can- Trip, can you just hang around after the meeting's over, and I'll give you a phone number to call.
Okay.
But I would say in his case, what I would say, I feel like we need to bring clarity to what the violations were first off, which property there's associated with, and that may revisit the entire violation. So yes, we'll definitely need to. I apologize. I've not met you at all. The two times you've come in, I've been whatever family issues and one day sitting in the hospital. But anyway, so I appreciate you being here tonight, and definitely we want to work with you to make this what you want it to be. So this is just our step to get you in that position.
Very good. Thank you, Trip. We don't have anything else. Do we have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion from Thornton, a second from Shelton. All in favor? We are adjourned.